A legacy is only truly created after something is gone. Sadly, the X300 and X301 production was stopped due to a variety of factors, most notably a global recession that impacted the sales of all high-end devices. But that isn't where the story of the X300 ends. Hello, and welcome to a very special episode of Laptop Retrospective. Today, in our fifth and final episode of Project Kodachi, we will be taking a look at the legacy that the ThinkPad X300 left on the laptop community and ThinkPads in general. As mentioned earlier, the recession halted production of the X300 and X301 entirely, as there really wasn't a market for such an expensive computer, even if the price was justified. While the laptop didn't sell well in a traditional sense, it still did what it set out to do and proved that a demand for these machines existed. It was a significant step for the company and computing in general. Lenovo was very proud of the X300, featuring it on the cover of their 2008-2009 annual report. The Worldwide Casebook in Marketing Management, published in 2016, mentions the importance of the X300 for Lenovo. The book describes it as one of the world's lightest, thinnest, and most innovative full-featured notebooks ever. It also mentions the high-profile introduction of the ThinkPad X300 met with rave reviews and unprecedented media coverage. In 2017, at the 25th anniversary of ThinkPad, Digital Trends listed it as one of the weirdest, coolest, and most influential ThinkPads of the last 25 years. Lenovo also put out a series of short video clips featuring multiple influential ThinkPads and named the X300 as the grandfather of the X1 Carbon.
Less than 20 millimeter thickness and less than 3-pound notebook without compromising anything. So we took the risk to pick up the really new carbon fiber. We achieved the thinnest, lightest, without any compromise notebook.
The solutions that our team developed to the engineering challenges of the ThinkPad X300 are directly influencing the development of ThinkPads to this day.
X300 is the grandfather of the current X1 Carbon.
David Hill also agrees with this assessment.
I think it's the jumping off point for the creation of the X1. I think it turned into the X1 Carbon because we proved, we could use all these exotic materials and technologies and such and make something super thin. And I think it's the genesis for that whole thing. It's the grandfather of that idea. And they are great computers. The X1, I'm using one right now.
The same year, Laptop Magazine agreed and also had it on their list of 25 years of ThinkPad, the best and most innovative. As mentioned earlier, the X300 and X301 would lead to the creation of the X1 and X1 Carbon. The goal of the X1 project was essentially to make the form factor of the X300 affordable. Our Masa Naito remembers in his book how the ThinkPad changed the world and is shaping the future. The development of the ThinkPad X1 had centered primarily on driving down the cost from the X300 that had come out in 2008, while at the same time continuing to take advantage of new technologies. Many things that were designed for the X300 and during that time period would be featured on later models of ThinkPad throughout the years. This would include things like hidden hinges, privacy screens, and much more. David Hill explains that as the X1 series continues, like any series, innovation gets more complex with each successive version.
When you're buying a ThinkPad, you're actually buying 25 plus years of ThinkPadness. That's what you're buying. You're not just buying the latest, whatever it is. You're buying this culmination of knowledge and engineering and experience. It's all wrapped up into it. And so when you're doing that kind of thing, the further you get away from ground zero, 1992, it actually becomes harder and harder and harder, because Lenovo knows everything in the world about making a keyboard. All the pitfalls, everything you can imagine has been thought through, tried, maybe rejected, improved, done over, so on and on and on.
Since the release of the ThinkPad X300, the DNA of this laptop, even in modern ThinkPads, such as the X1 Carbon line, is very clearly seen. Lessons learned about features, materials, and function that were learned over 12 years ago are still being used to inform the design today. Even when the X300 is placed against its contemporaries, it's quite clear to see where the inspiration came from. For the final word on the legacy of the X300, I'll leave us with the words of David Hill yet again.
Well, it's a real milestone product, in my opinion. I think it really changed it changed a lot about what people thought a laptop was and what a ThinkPad was. At that time, we were still making ThinkPads that were like 30 millimeters thick, and more. Huge things. They looked like, people used to call them phone books. That thing looks like a phone book. Okay, well, if you guys put everything in the kitchen sink in it, it looks like a phone book. Come on, But it's a very watershed product, I think. I still think you pull that thing out somewhere, it looks good. It still has that ThinkPad purposeful sort of vibe to it. You know what I mean? It doesn't look dated. I don't think it looks dated at all. I think it looks like, wow, that thing is cool.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that brings Project Kodachi to a close. Thank you so much for joining me over these 5 episodes, but don't worry, there will be more X300 content coming in the near future with a series of bonus episodes of stuff that didn't really fit within these 5 original episodes. I thank you so much for watching all of them. I hope that you enjoyed them. I hope that you learned something. I hope that you enjoyed David Hill's approach on all of the different topics that we've covered. And as always, if you enjoy this sort of content, I'm going to encourage you to do the big 4. Please like the video, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so the next time I release a large project like this, you're the first to know about it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.